Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm having to hold my phone again, of course, because my computer is updating, and I just want to get this out while I have some quiet free time. This is a prediction that I've been getting for a while, and I've been getting several things for 2026, and I'm working into 2027. That is my goal. And I was digging through my containers, and I came across my old whiteboard that I used in my videos in 2020, 2021. If you followed my channel back then, you remember me doing my whiteboard. I used it a lot in my videos for demonstrations, and I may continue doing so. But this is what I found. I wrote this stuff out in 2020. World War III, out of all things. And I put begins. I never did put a number, as in what year it's going to start, but I wrote that out. And you can tell this is old. This is old ink. It's not coming off. It's there. I tried to wipe it off and it's stained. I mean, it comes off a little bit, but it's stained for the most part. So you know what? I'm keeping this because it feels significant, and I'm a weirdo like that. I'm just weird. It's symbolic to me, so I'm holding on to this whiteboard the way it is. And I'm ordering me a new one so I can start doing more demonstrations on how I get predictions. So I sketched out what I want to share with you, okay, because it's in layers. This is going to be a natural disaster. I believe it's going to hit spring, summer of 2026, and there's also things happening in 2027. So I'm confused a little bit on the timing. I don't want to put a timeline on it, and I hope it does not happen, and it could happen in 2027. But I'm getting it for 2026 as well, so there could be two different areas underneath the Ring of Fire, because that whole region holds a lot of different areas, right? So I'm going to, let's see if I can, yeah, there we go. I'm going to show you my little drawing here. There's nothing new. You guys know how I do it. There we go. So there you have it. The very bottom layer is underneath the seafloor. And then we have above the seafloor on the bottom, you know, when you're walking, you're touching the sand. Then it goes up to the surface. Yeah. There you go. This is going to be a strong earthquake. It may even be a volcano underground. I'm feeling a lot of heat around the surface. Fire and stuff underneath the seafloor that causes a violent shake, which would be an earthquake. It would trigger an earthquake. It would cause the tectonic plates to move. I see a shift there, but you know, again, I can't be for certain if I'm getting it right. But it's going to be bigger than a 7.5. And we know what happened on Boxing Day. I do believe it was Boxing Day, when different areas were hit with tsunamis. So this is definitely going to cause a tsunami. That I can say because I saw that. And I was getting the area of Japan as my first hit. Southern Japan and the Ryukyu, Japan islands. It's spelled R-Y-U-K-Y-U. And then you have to understand, in those same regions, they're pretty close by. You have, you know, again, you have Japan and the island I mentioned. You have Taiwan, the Philippines, parts of Indonesia, and the Pacific coast, which could cover, you know, parts of the west coast of the United States. So I have to include those in this. I can't say, oh, it's not going to happen there. No, I don't know for sure. I really don't know. But I'm getting a large disruption in the, feels to be out near Japan, in that whole area, underneath the seafloor bed. And I don't know, it's just violent. It's like Mother Nature, pent up energy, wanting to release it. Frustrated. She's frustrated. She's tired of the abuse on her planet. Mother Nature is built up and pissed. Okay? That's what I get. I do feel like it's connected to the Ring of Fire, and I do believe it's going to be in or around Japan or a bordering country. but it's going to be out in the water. Okay, it's going to be out in the water, and it's going to cause a violent shake. And I think probably the tsunami is what stands out to me. I see a lot of water going inland, and it spreads wide. And this earthquake is not just a little one. Okay, it's pretty big. I don't want to say, oh, it's catastrophic, but in my vision, it looked catastrophic. It looked like it spread pretty wide. And I know that we talked about Boxing Day in 2011. I think it was 2011. This seems worse than that because I'm getting fire with it. And I'm getting the element of I see tubes under the ground. This is weird. I get like these brown tubes that carry lava, and they flow under the chamber. There's a chamber under the ground. And I feel like it's right outside of Japan or in or around close by. But it feeds into a large volcano on Earth, right? One you can see. But it also feeds into something under the ground, which stores all that lava that sucks up into the large volcano on Earth. But something has happened underground that has created a volcanic-like disruption under the ground. So it's like a backup of lava and rock. And it's just going to, I feel like it's going to explode at the bottom of the seafloor, causing tectonic plate shift at the top. And I could be wrong on how I'm getting it, but it doesn't look good. Honestly, I don't know. I hate to be so freaking negative. Sometimes I feel like not even putting out predictions. Sometimes I don't even want to talk about what I see for the UK, what I see in Iran, even though I already covered Iran in 2024, pretty much everything. I get so depressed. And sometimes I feel like getting back into my artwork and working on my old paintings, maybe pulling out some of those, but I have a lot of canvases and just maybe starting over and working on chakras, auric paintings, working with vibrant colors and diamonds and little crystals and, you know, using soil, real soil, sand from the earth, incorporating them in my paintings and maybe putting them up on Etsy or something, or maybe even doing giveaways. Sometimes I feel like just giving my art away. I'm not a huge artist by any means. I can't draw worth a crap, but I really love to tune in on a subconscious level when I paint and just whatever. I mean, I like to paint it. It's usually vibrant and weird. I call my artwork weird. It's very weird. I can't even say it's beautiful. I just think it's weird. But to me, it's beautiful. But you might think it's weird. Maybe I should be saying that. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Heat, lava, rocks, and they shoot up underneath the seafloor, and they come out of the seafloor into the ocean, the middle of the freaking ocean, man. And it's just, it's so strong and it stretches wide. It causes an earthquake. Now the earthquake, I don't know if it affects anything on land or if it's all in the water. I'm not sure, but what I see is the water going back and forth. It makes me feel sick to my stomach. I was looking at this last night and motion sickness is what I was almost feeling. So I backed out of it. I do have a few more things I want to share, but probably in a separate video, guys. I don't know how much more I can do on negative predictions because everything is negative. And 2026 is about exposing. It's about releasing of pressure. It's about getting ready, or you should be ready to go up on the next level of frequency. It's about all those things. It's about truth bombs, fuck bombs. But 2027, let me tell you, is almost like a step bigger than where we are now. I don't want to come on here and be negative, but do I see an improvement in 2027? Not at least the first 6 months of 2027. And I was getting a lot of natural events, global events pertaining to natural disasters, volcanoes, earthquake. 2027 is going to be the year of natural disasters, I do believe. And if you live in a prone area near water or near hurricanes or, and that's another thing I was getting. Not hurricane, but, well, I don't even want to talk about that because I live in a hurricane prone area. Big time. But I was seeing a violent tornado. I saw a violent tornado for 2026, yeah. And it was going a little more east. Right? It could be Moorhead. I was getting something with Moore. M-O-O-R-E, Moore. I'm not sure where this is. It feels to be in the Midwest. Like it could be Oklahoma, somewhere in Texas, but I was hearing Moore. So it's a city. But I was seeing a large, violent, crazy looking twister. But it felt to be like spring or even summer. Could be springtime. Could be April. A lot of things are going to happen in April of 2026, whether we like it or not. We're going to see a lot of weird shit in the month of April. I was being shown water events, and I don't mean just flooding. I'm talking about like ships, things like that. Maybe assassinations. Maybe some power outages, to put it nicely. Cyber attacks on the United States and the UK and Europe. Cyber attacks. Taking out large, possibly grids and banking things. April is going to be, ain't gonna be a joke. And Iran and Israel are gonna be going at it. Of course, the United States is involved, but Israel's really, really going to be, I see attacks on their soil in April. I've already made a video on that. I'm not gonna get into it, but it's just a lot of things. So I think sometimes artwork and looking into the beauty of colors, nature, doing things you love, whether it's painting, making flower arrangements. I have a friend that does that. She loves it. Taking walks in nature, being out in the sunlight when you're able is very important. Unless world news, like news. No offense to you guys who watch CNN. It's the draining vampire news station of the world, in my opinion. I get more facts, news facts from the UK and Europe and Russia. There's only a few that air from Russia, and they've even shut those down, than I do here in the United States. That I can actually fact check and say, yep, that's right. Anyways, I'm just mumbling. But that's what I have. And I might come back on. I have a few more things I want to share, but today I think I'm done because I put out a large, pretty big video regarding the UK. I did some channeling on that, and I went ahead and put out that information while I was in the drive-through, and I came home and cleaned up, and I have work tomorrow. I have to get some stuff done, so I will probably take off the rest of the evening and clean up a little bit. And yeah, maybe pull out some of my canvases and see if there's any old. All right, guys.